make sure I have the audio up. Gotta make sure I have the audio up. I think I do. Look at it, it's snowing. We don't actually, we're not actually getting any snow on the East Coast. Like they got some in New York this morning, no? I watched this one guy in the mornings when I'm riding my bike indoors, and he's called the walking commuter or something like that in New York, and he walks all around New York, different places, and it was snowing up there this morning. It was really cool in New York. Of all the places to watch when there's snow going on, New York is one of the best. Absolutely one of the best. Merry Christmas, everyone, and all the best wishes for 2025. So we're going to talk a little bit about 2025, see what we think is going to be happening in 2025. As usual. So, and here's my, here's the outdoors. It's cold. It's absolutely cold out there. It maybe doesn't look that cold, but it absolutely is cold. Absolutely is cold. Cold, 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 cold. What is the temperature right now? 30 degrees Fahrenheit. I have no idea what that translates to as far as centigrade, which some of the audience is dealing with centigrade. I remember when I was in grade school in the 60s, they told us that the United States was going to go to the metric system. So instead of inches and feet, it's going to go millimeters and meters, and temperature is going to go centigrade. Well, that never happened, obviously. Not for the United States. I just found, that's one of the things that I found interesting. I'm going to, let me see something, just checking. How's the audio sounding this morning? Just checking to make sure. Just checking to make sure everything's sounding okay, audio-wise. Now, let me see something. I'm going to check over there real quick on let me see. I'm going to check over there real quick just to give it a listen and make sure the audio is sounding good. Hold on one second. Yep, sounds good. Just wanted to check. Sometimes I have a little too much compression or something on the vocals and it sounds a little squashed, but not today. So what do you think is going to be happening? Merry Christmas from Denmark. Audio sounds great on YouTube. Thank you. That's where I just monitored it. What's going on in Denmark? I presume you're cold in Denmark? I presume that's the case. Here's our friend, Sean Beckner. Our woodworking friend, Sean Beckner. Over there on Instagram, he's got a woodworking, and I think YouTube as well. Sean, I got I know we talked about this. I got the Action 5. It's one of my cameras that I wanted. Let me put it in focus, Action 5. It's a fantastic, fantastic camera. It really is. And I got it on, they have some kind of a weird thing going on YouTube, on Amazon with it. I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe. It's normally $349 by itself. For some reason, Amazon, let me see if I can pull it up. I don't know if it's still available over there on Amazon. Let's go over there and find out. But they had some kind of a special. Let me see. Positive green. That's not it. That's not it. Here it is. Let's see if they have the same thing still. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Well, let me see. What happened there? Normally it's hold on one second. I'll be right with you. Because this is a pretty darn good deal. This is a darn good deal if you want to get the Action 5. So here is the deal. They have this right now. And it is, normally it's $349. But they have this deal where you can get it for $349 minus plus a $15 Amazon gift card for $349. So basically, you're getting the Action 5 for $15 less than it normally goes for. However, that's only the beginning. Notice here, bonus, 2 free batteries with purchase. So you have to go there and you have to add the batteries to your, purchase, and you can get 2 free batteries for no additional cost. Now the batteries themselves are like $40, $39. So you get a total of 3 batteries, 2 extra batteries plus the one that comes with it, plus an Amazon gift card for $349. It's crazy. So it's a really, really, really good price. Now I think I paid less than that. I paid actually less than that. There was some kind of another special that was on Amazon for the Action 5. So I picked it up. And I got 3 batteries with it, and I got a $15 Amazon gift card, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, it is cold and windy, but not as cold as by you, 42.8 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment. Okay, we're a little colder than that. I just got a 3D printer, and I've been making camera mounts and tripod gear a lot. The camera looks great. I've watched a few reviews on it. So there's 2 or 3 things why I specifically like the Action 5. Number one, this is the reason I won't get the Insta360 V2, because it's only 8-bit. They finally added log, but it's only 8-bit. That disqualifies you. The reason I didn't get the GoPro 13 Action, whatever it is, the 13 model, is because of its poor low light performance compared to the Action 5, which has actually a special low light, AI enhanced low light setting that enhances low light video. Now, action cameras are not low light cameras, okay? I have a Lumix S5 Mark II X that's really good in low light. When you put it on like one of the ISO settings for low light, it looks like you have a flashlight into the scene. It's really good. So that's my low light camera. But the Action 5, it has the best low light of all 3 of the main action cameras. Now, there's 3 or 4 things that I really like about the Action 5. Number one, I don't know if the other ones have this or not. It has a pre-record setting. You can choose 1 second pre-record, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. So if it's turned on, it's actually recording before you hit the record button. Once you just say 5 minutes. I have it 5 minutes pre-record. When I hit the record button, it records from that point forward, plus it records the 5 minutes before I hit the record button. I really like that feature as well. So you really can't, if you're set up and ready to film something, you really can't miss it because you have that pre-record function. That's a really nice feature. What else do I like about the Action 5? There's a couple of other things. Well, the low light, they have a special low light mode that I really like. It has D-Log M 10-bit that I really like. It has a couple of other features I'll think of as we're talking that the other cameras do not have. The other Action cameras in the same class do not have. So I really like the Action 5. And it's such a good price right now. It's such a, I got 3 batteries for it. I'm going to sell my Action 4. And I think I have 2 batteries for that. So I'll sell the Action 4 and I'll sell the 2 batteries for that. So I'll get a lot of my money back. I'll get like $200 or more back. So this upgrade cost me about $100. Oh, that's one of the other things. The Action 5 has built-in memory storage. It has 47 gigabytes of built-in storage. Not only can you record on a micro SD card, but it has 47 gigabytes built in. You don't need an SD card to record. None of the other Action cameras have that. The GoPros overheat and they get SD card errors. I use mine for risky shots. I kind of secretly wish it would fall to the machine and get crushed one day. I have a very old GoPro, very old one. This is my first Action camera. What is this? I don't even know what version this is. Very, very old Action DJI, and it was great for years. I used it all the time for stuff, for action shots outside. But when I went to get a new one, I said, no, the Action 5 is the one that I want to get. Absolutely, the Action 5 is the one I want to get. Sean Beckner, if you got a 3D printer, I got the Mac Mini Pro, as everybody probably that watches this knows. I got the Mac Mini Pro, and I want to get a 3D printed little lever thing that turns off the button on the bottom. Because right now it's not that big a deal. I just lift the corner up and press the button. But they have these 3D printed little things, levers, that you don't have to do that. You just tap it from the top and it'll turn it on and off. It'll turn it on and off. I'm waiting for, listen, the docks for this thing just came out. They just start coming out. I want a dock that has a built-in on and off lever. Just sticks out a little bit with maybe a little spring to it, metal. So I press down and turn it on, press down, turn it off without lifting it up from the corner. And then I'll get one of those docks. And the dock has to have an expansion. It has to have it has to have 3 more like Thunderbolt 5 ports plus whatever else they want to do. I don't even care. Oh, NVMe slots and all that kind of stuff. I'm waiting for like OWC to put one out. I just upgraded to Topaz AI to version 6. Did I need to use it for jobs with a deadline, but I could justify buying a faster Mac? But I do not have jobs with deadlines. I cannot, as my Mac is fast enough. Excellent. Daniel says, minus 16 Celsius for 3.2 Fahrenheit. That's cold. Anything below, everything like 32 is freezing water. So I think 32 Fahrenheit is 0 degrees Celsius. So if you're down to 32 or below, you're below freezing. That's cold around here. Sean says, if you find a file and send it to me, a link to me, I'll print it and send it to you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Somebody has a file out there. There's 2 different designs. The one I'd like to get is just a little, it goes around the corner. It's molded around the corner. It's a little column. And in the bottom, and there's a lever that goes down from the top. And it hits a little metal lever that hits the on and off button. That's probably my favorite one. But there's also one that's just like a cross that goes across underneath of the mini Mini Pro, and one of the corners has a little stick-up thing that sticks up into the on and off button, and all you do is press the top of the Mac Mini and it turns it on and off. So either way. Sean says he's got a Bambi X1C. I guess that's your 3D printer you're talking about. I guess that is your 3D printer that you're talking about. Let's go over here a second. Do I have MacBook Countdown? Me screen, countdown. Well, let's go over here a second. So one of the things, well, actually, let's go over here. I'll go over this way. X Pro. I'm just watching, see who's watching on protwitter.com. I want to, first off, I want to congratulate. This is a little bit of a different congratulation. I want to congratulate one of the Final Cut Pro, one of the Pro Apps teams. I want to congratulate one of the Pro Apps teams. This one. Logic Pro Apps team gave us a Christmas update to Logic Pro last Monday. They updated it, bug fix, just a bug fix, to 11.1.1. Now, 11.1 came out at the Creative Summit, which was a little over a month ago. So, the Logic Pro team, accolades to you for getting us our Christmas update to Logic Pro 11.1.1. Now, I don't follow the Logic Pro updates as much as I do the Final Cut Pro updates, but that's for the Logic Pro team. They got this out before Christmas. I don't know what days of the week they typically update Logic Pro. This came out on a Monday, which is an unusual day for a Pro Apps update as far as I know. Final Cut is not up. It has been updated on Mondays, but not that often. Most of the time it's on Thursdays, secondarily on probably Mondays and Tuesdays are about the same amount. So congratulations to the Logic Pro team. I don't know if the Logic Pro team watches this. I don't know. Maybe they're on the Pro Apps team and they watch it as well. Should we expect Final Cut Pro 11.0.1? Well, I was expecting it last week, to be honest with you, because Logic Pro came out on Monday. I'm thinking, okay, Final Cut Pro is going to come out on Tuesday. If it doesn't come out on Tuesday, it'll come out on Thursday. It won't come out over the weekend, obviously. So it either can come out, if they have it ready, it'll come out Monday or Tuesday next week. Monday is possibility because Logic Pro came out last Monday. So it very well could come out on Monday, Final Cut Pro 11.0.1. It's just a bug fix. It's very unlikely there'll be any new features added. But to get it, they should get it to us before they go on Christmas vacation because they'll be gone for weeks. And we have to live with these bugs. They know about the bugs. The bugs have been widely reported. There's probably about half a dozen bugs. I know of 3 or 4 bugs that 11.0 has. Not unusual. It's not unusual. All software has bugs. Once it gets out to the wider marketplace and people get to try it with different configurations and different plugins, then you see where all the bugs are. So it's not unusual that there is a bug or 2 or 3. I reported a bug that I was having. I circumvented the bug by doing something on my end. I don't know if it's fixed in Final Cut. We'll have to wait and find out. So here's the deal. Since Logic came out last Monday, we certainly could see Final Cut Pro 11.0.1 this coming Monday or this coming Tuesday. If we don't see it Monday and Tuesday, we're probably not going to see it the rest of the week because it's Christmas in the United States. Everybody's not even there. I'm kind of surprised they didn't release it last week, but that's, they do what they can. They don't hold things back arbitrarily. They just say, hey, we'll get to the update. Whatever their reason, I respect that, completely respect that. My Snoopy cup. Good old Snoopy, good old Snoopy. So there's a lot of things that happened in 2024 as far as Final Cut goes, as far as I monetized my YouTube channel in 2024. So YouTube, Google is actually paying me hundreds of dollars. I'm not into the thousands or tens of thousands of dollar era. And I never intended to do these YouTube videos and get paid, but I figured I've got 600,000 views of my videos. Why not get paid? So it helps out for NAB, for example, come up in April. If I decide to go to that, that's expensive. $1,500, $2,000. It helps out with stuff like that. So plus Buy Me a Coffee crew helps out as well. So should we expect Final Cut Pro 11.0.1? Yes, if we're lucky. And the Final Cut Pro team is still in session next week. We could see it Monday when Logic came out, or we could see it Tuesday. Those are the two most likely days if we see it before Christmas. DaVinci Resolve also got last week an update. Why not Final Cut Pro? DaVinci Resolve updates constantly. Nobody can touch DaVinci Resolve for updates to their software, updates to their hardware. Nobody can touch them. They leave everybody else in the dust as far as the amount of updates they do. They also updated their free camera app for the iPhone last week. They updated DaVinci Resolve. It's at 19.1.2 or something like that. Speaking of updates, if you know, Final Cut Pro 11 has the new feature that is transcribe to caption. So it'll take whatever audio file you have in the timeline, and it does it real quick. It does it very, very quickly, and it transcribes to captions. Very, very cool, and it sets the captions in the timeline. The problem is it does whole sentences. So a lot of times the caption length is this long. I think it breaks at sentences. So their captions are really, really long. I don't like my captions that long, or my subtitles. I want shorter, so I don't got to look left and look right to read. I'm going to just write in the center, just like when you're doing a teleprompter. You don't have teleprompters sentences like this, so you have to do this to read the teleprompter, or your eyes go back and forth. I like it right in the center. Well, there's no option in Final Cut to do that. And our friend Philip and Greg, Intelligent Assistants, have a plugin that's on sale for a couple of weeks yet. Instead of $19, it's $15 in the App Store, called a Caption Animator. And what it does is pretty simple to use. It's an extension. What you do is you set up a regular title the way you want it in Final Cut. Font, color of the font, position of the font, and you make that title and put it in the timeline. When you open up Caption Animator, you select that title that you just made as a template, and it'll take all the captions that Final Cut Pro generated and make it into titles based on your template title. That includes titles, any title you have, any 3D title you have. If the title has animation to it, it'll make the title with animation with the captions for Final Cut. It's very, very cool. However, up to this point, once again, it uses the entire length of the caption that Final Cut Pro made, which sometimes can be very, very long. I don't like them that long. Now, I'm talking about like a video 3 minutes or under. I'm not worried about captioning, burn-in captioning longer videos, just shorter videos, just 3 minutes and under. I like to sometimes burn in the caption because people will watch it with the sound turned down. I do that a lot of times myself. I don't want to turn the sound on. I just watch and read the caption or the subtitle. So I wanted to be able to just shorten, to restrict the amount of characters on the captions. I can do that in Blackmagic, DaVinci Resolve. You can limit the amount of lines and the length of characters. So I have something short, 14, 16 characters with one line is what I do in DaVinci Resolve. Well, let's just say a little birdie told me, a little birdie named Philip, they're working on an update to Caption Animator. And there's going to be the ability to shorten those lines. They don't have to just mirror whatever Final Cut does. So that'll be probably an update coming up for you. That'll be fantastic. Once I have that working properly, I won't have to go to DaVinci Resolve anymore to do my captions. I'll just stay in Final Cut with Caption Animator from Intelligent Assistance. Once again, it's on sale till the end of the year. It's on sale through December from $19.99 to $14.99. So you save 25%, $5. Support them over there on the App Store. It's on the App Store. So that's the captions. What else do we have to talk about? So I got a new, I have my Lumix X5 Mark IIX. I have my Lumix X5 Mark IIX. So I bought a new lens for it. I've been eyeing these lenses for a while. I got a 35 to 150 millimeter zoom lens that also will stay in focus the entire length. As you zoom in, it stays in focus, autofocus. It's an autofocus, a zoom lens. And it was on sale, and I got it. And the thing is phenomenal. Oh, it's 35 millimeter to 150 millimeter. It's f2.0 to f2.8. So the highest f-stop is 2.8. This thing is a beast in low light, and the zoom range is very, very effective. 35 to 150 millimeters, really, really cool. It's very heavy. It's a big honking lens, which it has to be in order to have that kind of range. See, that's what they said. That's parafocal, parfocal. There you go, parfocal. I've seen that exactly in the reviews say it's parfocal. So back in the olden days, when I used to zoom in, manually zoom in, I had to refocus on the new zoomed in range. This one with my Panasonic Lumix S5 Mark IIX, you don't have to. As you zoom in, it stays in focus. Now, it is an autofocus lens. That's one of the things. It works very, very well with the Lumix line of cameras, full frame. And if you use, there's some, I have to look into this. The Lumix S5 Mark IIX has the ability to do ASPC crop. And if you shoot in that mode, you're not using the full frame, it actually punches in even a little bit more. So I'll have to look at that and see how to set that up so I can have that option if I want to zoom in a little bit more. If If I want to zoom in a little bit more, I can do that with an ASPC crop. Our friend Matthew Pate says, hello, Richard. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well. Final Cut Pro is the only NLE that's trackless. If yes, why? I'm not sure what the question is. Why is it trackless? That's the way they designed it. That's just the way they designed it. Now, it's not the only LLE that's trackless. Well, yeah, it probably is. It probably is. Logic Pro's not trackless. There are other Pro app. Logic Pro is not trackless. It has lots of tracks. I prefer tracks for audio. I just prefer tracks for audio. I'm not talking about a simple little video edit in Final Cut. You have one or two little, tracks. But when I record in the recording studio, I can have 24 to 32 tracks. I don't want them jumping all up and down in hierarchy. I want the bass drum track to stay in one lane. And I want the guitar track to stay in one lane. And I want this vocal track to stay in one lane. I don't want it jumping up and down like it would do in Final Cut. I know you can use rolls for that, but that's not what I like. So I don't mind tracks for audio, and I actually prefer tracks for audio. Video, no, trackless is the best. Merry Christmas, absolutely. Happy holidays, Richard. 30-inch Celsius in Brazil right now. Wow, that's warm, right? I think it is. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you very much. Absolutely. We're going to have a good one. This has been we've had a good year for Final Cut Pro. We got 10.7 last year at the Creative Summit. We got 10.8 in June on the eve of Final Cut's birthday. And then we jumped from 10.8 to 11 at the Creative Summit. So within the last year, we've gotten 3 major updates to Final Cut Pro. Not bad. Not bad at all. Are we 100% satisfied? No, that's not what we're saying. We're saying the ones we got are really, really cool. So one of the things that happened, I just want to bring this up. One of the things that happened at the Creative Summit, let me just pull this up, was I asked a question at the Q&A. And my question was, I said, when Final Cut Pro 10 was announced, there was a 10-year roadmap mentioned for Final Cut Pro 10. I said, is there a similar roadmap for Final Cut Pro 11? I'm not asking about features. I'm talking about just a general roadmap, the way that you did for Final Cut Pro 10. They said there was Apple said there was a 10-year, it wasn't roadmap, the word they used was foundation. 10-year, this is the foundation for the next 10 years. So that is exactly what I was referring to. I use the term roadmap because I've heard the term roadmap used multiple times. Well, Peter Stenauer was on the panel and he says, well, Bill Davis says he wasn't there. Bill Davis, product manager, whatever, for Final Cut Pro, said he wasn't there when Apple said about the 10-year roadmap. And then Peter Stenauer said, I was on stage for the announcement of 10. Did I say that? Did I say that about the 10-year roadmap? I didn't say anything, but somebody next to me, who I'm not going to mention, yelled out, yes, you did. Okay, yelled out, yes, you did. It turns out Peter did not say that. Okay, Peter did not say that. He's not the one that said it. Richard Townhill is the one that said it, and he did not say it at the introduction of Final Cut Pro. Everybody kept saying, well, it's, it's the It was at the introduction to Final Cut Pro. It was not. So I went back and did some research, and I found it. So I have this article over there at fcpx.tv, Final Cut Pro 10-year roadmap, foundation, because the term Apple used was foundation, not roadmap. But so first, I just said first off, I'd like to say thank you for Final Cut Pro 10, Final Cut Pro 11, and thank you for that great presentation in the theater. It was the best, and then there was applause. And there's my question. I said, is there a similar roadmap for Final Cut Pro 11, or are we going to see Final Cut Pro 12 in 6 months? That's my question, and people laughed. And our Bill Davis said, this was a very significant update in terms of features, but we are really signifying this is the beginning of the next chapter of Final Cut Pro. So this is a big deal. 11 is a big deal. And Bill says, I wasn't there when we mentioned the 10-year roadmap. Peter Stenauer said, I'm trying to remember the 10-year roadmap. I was on the stage. Did I say that? And somebody next to me said, yes, you did. And then people were laughing and there's applause. This is interesting. We're going to be doing our best to continue to roll the product forward as aggressively as we can, and it's much better than a 10-year roadmap. These are notes that I took during the Q&A session. So here's the deal. Peter Stenauer did not say that. The quote came from Richard Townhill, and it wasn't at the Creative Summit. I mean, it wasn't at the introduction of Final Cut Pro 10 at the Super Meet in 2011. Posted on September the 20th, 2011. This is when the quote came. It's when Final Cut Pro 10.0.1 came out, the very first update to Final Cut Pro 10. And we got a lot of feedback from our professional users. Richard Townhill, Apple's Senior Director, Applications Marketing, told The Loop. So this is quotes from Richard Townhill. And here's the quote. We've got a modern architecture, and this is the foundation for the next 10 years, said Richard Townhill. That is where the quote came from. I couldn't figure out where it came from. I went searching, and finally figured it out. So that's where it came from, Richard Townhill. It was not stated at the introduction of Final Cut Pro to Super Meet at NAB 2011. It was 6 months later in September when they had the first update. There's the source, and I have the source there. I'm waiting for the update. The Magic Mask isn't that good as they promote. Hopefully the update will fix it better. I'm not sure. I kind of like the Magic Mask, but I haven't had any problems with it yet. Saw an article that DaVinci is going to have a big update in Q1 for the new Vision Pro $30,000 camera. Well, that would make sense. That would make sense that you can edit the Vision Pro video from their camera in DaVinci Resolve. That makes complete sense. Complete sense. It is cold. It absolutely is cold out there in the backyard. You can see the wind blowing. It's 30 degrees with wind blowing. It's probably in the low 20s Fahrenheit. There's little birdies. We keep the birds fed all winter long. They have plenty of food. We have multiple feeding stations, and we put bird seed on the ground. There's a blacktop driveway right below there, and we put bird seed on there as well. So there's plenty of food for the birds. Plenty. Eric says, couldn't disagree more. Final Cut Pro Magic Mask is great. He might be talking about the export problem they have with the Magic Mask that I've seen reported. That might be what he's talking about. No, it is. It's the Magic Mask. I never did rotoscoping. I'm not going to pay the subscription for Motion VFX for their nonsensical subscription model that I will not support. I'm not interested in that. Give me a perpetual license. Don't give me these forever subscriptions. When you use Logic Pro, how do you get your import from Trackbase Logic Pro to Final Cut Pro Trackless? You don't go from Logic Pro to Final Cut Pro. You go from Final Cut Pro to Logic Pro. You don't go the other way. It's not meant for that. Logic Pro is primarily a music app. It's for making music, for scoring things. I use it for my podcast, but you definitely don't want to go from from Logic to Final Cut Pro unless it's something simple. You want to go from Final Cut Pro to Logic Pro, and then in that case, if it's not that complicated, it sets your audio files into tracks, from rolls into tracks. But sometimes I'll do that, and it'll have 20 audio files, and instead of keeping them in one track, it makes a separate track for each one. At least it has in the past. I haven't used it for a while. I use Logic Pro standalone, and I use Final Cut Pro standalone. For the most part, I don't go back and forth. Sometimes I do a little bit. I do sometimes, but it's a one-way deal. Final Cut Pro to Logic Pro for XML. You don't go back to Final Cut Pro. What you do is you send stems or mix downs or finished stereo track back to Final Cut and use that. So I'll be having a pretty traditional Christmas dinner here. Pretty traditional. Tuesday, Wednesday, I think Wednesday, next week is Wednesday. I think that's Christmas. Tuesday is that what it is, or is Christmas Thursday? I can't remember. Well, let's look it up. Let me look it up real quick. Christmas Day is Wednesday, so Christmas Eve is Tuesday, and the following week, New Year's Day. So maybe we're going to get Final Cut Pro 11.0.1 on Monday or Tuesday. Monday because Logic Pro was out last Monday. Final Cut Pro has been updated on Mondays before, but not that often. Most often Thursdays, secondarily Tuesdays, and I think Mondays. I don't think it's ever been updated on a Friday, Saturday, or a Sunday for Final Cut Pro 10. Classic Final Cut Pro was updated on a Sunday before. But Final Cut Pro 10, I don't think ever been updated Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, maybe an occasional Wednesday, and then most of the time it's updated on Thursdays. We'll see. It'd be nice to get bug fixes before Christmas so we don't got to spend 2 to 3 weeks with bugs, people that are experiencing it. Now, I'm not experiencing the bugs except for the one that I fixed because I'm not exporting the Magic Mask data via compressor. I think that is the time. January for the next bug fix update, in my opinion, okay. But Logic Pro was updated last Monday. They're a pro app. And Final Cut Pro team updated 10.7 before the Christmas holidays last year. We got 10.7.1, I guess, 10.7.1 before the Christmas holidays, because they could be gone for 2 or 3 weeks at that point. So I'm saying we'll see. They could do it anytime. They could do it on a Sunday night if they wanted to. But based on the past year, we still got a chance. We'll see 11.0.1 next week on Monday or Tuesday. I think that magnetic mask works great. You just have to choose a frame where you can see all of what you want to track. If you do not, you may have glitches. That's a good tip. That is a very good tip. Make sure you start with the frame because you can track forward and you can track backwards. So I have, for the graphic for the video, I have my Lumix S5 Mark IIX with my new lens. I just got the lens yesterday. 35 to 150 zoom lens, f2.0 to f2.8. It's a very, very fast, great in low light, and it has a really nice, useful zoom range. But it is heavy. It weighs more than the camera. It is a big, big lens. So I'll use it for run and gun because it's so versatile, but you have to realize it's heavy. So you take a tripod, in my case, a nice monopod, have it around my neck as a strap, put it to the side sometimes, and then pull it around when you want to use it. Very, very versatile lens. Now, there's three versions. There's two versions of the lens. There's Samyang. Is that what it is? Samyang version. And then sometimes Samyang has in the United States, they go and wrote something. What is it called? Let me see. I'll pull it up here because I bought it. Rokinon. So it's on sale. The Rokinon version is on sale for $1,000.19. Normally it's $1,200. And the Samyang, which is exactly the same lens, is $13.99, I think. So it's a lot more. So this one, I've been watching this. When it finally went on sale, I picked it up for $1,000. It's heavy. It's really, really useful already. I can see it. I mean, when I'm filming in the dark, it's dark inside, and the Lumix S5 Mark IIX has great low light performance. It's almost like there's a flashlight shining in. It looks better than what the naked eye sees. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, I've stopped buying big, heavy lenses and give up lower f-stops. F-fine is fine for me. No, the reason I got the Lumix S5 Mark IIX is specifically because of low light performance. That's the reason that I got it. If I'm in a band, if I'm in a bar filming a band, low light, I want better performance. At the Creative Summit, sometimes the lighting's not optimal, so I do a better job with low light. I specifically got the Lumix S5 Mark IIX for low light. I have a GH5 and a GH4. Both of them are really good cameras. They shoot almost 6K. GH5 does. It's not very good in low light. So I specifically got it for the low light. So I absolutely want low F number fast lenses. So 2 to 2.8 with that zoom range is perfect for me. It's perfect. That's the reason I got the camera, and that's the reason otherwise I'm using my iPhone. If I'm not shooting in low light, I'm using my iPhone, or I'm using my DJI Action 5. I don't need a big camera if I'm not shooting in low light, personally for me. Now, when I shot at the Creative Summit, a lot of times when I shot some of the sessions, I had both my iPhone 16 Pro Max and I had my Lumix S5 Mark IIX with the prime lens. I think it was an 85 millimeter prime. Side by side, filming the same thing. The Lumix always was better. The Lumix, as you might expect, a full frame camera with a very fast prime that shoots 6K is going to be better than an iPhone 16 Pro Max. But side by side, the Lumix always was better, and it's dramatically better. Well, the iPhone's really good, but the Lumix is better, as you might expect. As far as I understand it, 2.8 will emit twice as much light as a 4 lens exactly. I have a 20 to 60 millimeter f4 lens, which is small and compact, and I use that when I'm outside in the sunlight. I use that. It's light. I get a little bit of a zoom from 20 to 60, which is, that's nice little zoom. It's a nice light lens, but it's not any good in the dark. I mean, it's not very good in the dark. So I got the Lumix specifically for low light shooting. So I want low light lenses. I don't want anything above an f2.8, and that's what I've got. I got 3 primes. All those are those 1.8 or something? I forget what the primes are. 1.8, great low light lenses, but I don't want to be switching lenses out. That's why I got this one. This was the best one I could get for me. I'm so far very, very satisfied with it. Adam says yes. Yep, 1.8. Those primes are great, but I'm going to keep I have a 24 millimeter f1.8 prime. I'm going to keep that one, and I'm going to sell my 50 and 85. I have a 50 and 85 because I have this zoom range now that goes from 35 to 150. So both of those lenses are covered. Plus, I get some money back for this lens. It's over $1,000. The DJI Pocket 3 is fantastic in low light and works really well with my Lumix S5 Mark II. There you go. Yep, 50 millimeter is really cool, but I don't need duplicate focal ranges. Especially, the reason I got this is to cover these ranges. So the 50 millimeter is really cool. I use that a lot, but I'll keep the 24 and I'll sell the 50 and 85, both of those. I covered 35, 50 with this new lens, and it's just a little bit not quite as fast. But I really, yes, it's big. I watched all the reviews. Yes, it's heavy. Absolutely. But I have 3 main cameras: the iPhone 16 Pro Max, the DJI Action 5, and my Lumix S5 Mark IIX. And I use different cameras for different scenarios. If I'm using the Lumix, I know I'm going to have to deal with the big lens on a monopod or carry it or whatever. I know that. Can you shoot at 150 handheld? How is the stabilization? Well, you're zoomed in, so if you're not perfectly still, you're going to be a little shaky. But I use a monopod. I have the iFootage Cobra 3 monopod. So if I'm shooting that far zoomed in, it'll be on the monopod or a tripod, either one. But can you do it? Yeah, it's obviously you're zoomed in, so it's more susceptible. And there is built-in image stabilization in the Lumix. But I'm not going to be running and gunning so much. But I mean, I will with 35, but not the 150 end. I used a 50 millimeter on a gimbal when I was filming in Mexico. Completely understand you're wanting to swap those lenses out for the telephoto. Well, the thing is, I don't need both. I don't need both. And the telephoto has enough of a low light, f2.0 to 2.8, that it works in low light situations. But if I'm doing just daylight, I'll take my f4 20 to 60 millimeter, just to have a small, more compact lens. If I'm just out in daylight and stuff, f4 is fine in daylight. It's just not good in a nightclub or in any kind of dark situations. How is the Lumix 35 to 100 zoom lens autofocus performance with it is excellent. It is excellent. If you watch the videos on YouTube, look up the 35 to 150, whether it's a Samyang or the Rokinon, but they're both the same manufacturer, different brand names for whatever reason. Try to find a review of the Panasonic L-mount version, because sometimes the Sony version, the E-mount, is not as good on the autofocus. People have complained a little bit, but the L-mount, it's much better. It works really, I'm surprised at how good it works. So with the Panasonic, it works really, really well. Panasonic has come a long way with their autofocus system. And there's a bunch of different settings you can hone in that I use. And I'm learning how to use it. Sometimes I forget when I go to film something and I didn't do it right. But now I have a nice setting that works really well. The setting that I have is center focused, and it's human body, not just the eye. So in case somebody turns their head or has the back of themselves facing the camera, it focuses on the body. And when it sees an eye, it'll focus on the eye. But it's not always looking for the eye. So it does both. So I can just do a human body, whatever's in the center, a wide area in the center. That's what I typically do. And it focuses very, very well. Are you not tempted to chop in the GH4 and GH5 and get a GH7? No, I don't need another camera. Why would I get a GH7? I had the lenses, but I use my Lumix S5 Mark II X for anything of utmost importance. If I'm interviewing somebody, I'm going to use that on a tripod, have proper mics, etc., and I'll use that. And the zoom range is fantastic even for shooting indoors under light condition. No, I'm going to keep. I wouldn't get much for the GH4, a few $100. Is that what they go for? $300 or $400 maybe. I mean, I might some point sell it. I don't know. But I'm using the GH5 for my live streams. I'm shooting with the GH5 right now. So, and if I ever need a second camera, I have the GH5 and the Lumix S5 Mark II X. I'm set. I don't need anything else. The Action 5 is really, really a cool camera. It's really cool. It's small, compact, $300 with a couple of batteries. I use different cameras for different things. When I'm at NAB, for example, I'll put the Action 5 either around my neck or I'll mount it on my shoulder, this shoulder actually, and just let it run continuous. So if I'm walking through it, just continually recording 4K, 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second, 10-bit D-Log M. And it just records constantly. I can record for 10 hours on my card. I got a 512 gigabyte card. I have 3 Action 5 batteries, so I can swap those out as things go on. That's kind of my just capture everything no matter what you're doing. I also use it when I'm walking and stuff as well. When I go on my walks, especially in the springtime when it's a little bit warmer. And I'll take that with me a lot of times, just strap it around and just let it record. But the quality is amazing. And when it's strapped either around my neck or on my shoulder, the audio going from here to the camera to the microphone is fantastic. It's like having a lapel mic on. Yeah, I don't even need the DJI Action 5 mic if I'm going to have it mounted on me, because it picks up my voice very, very well. Now, if I'm filming somebody in front, they have to be a certain distance close in order to pick them up accurately. But so far, I'm very, very pleased with it. And like I said, it has built-in storage. None of the other Action cameras have that. I don't know if the other Action cameras have pre-roll or not. I don't know. But that storage is a very, very cool feature, built-in storage. There's a couple of other things that I like about the Action 5. A couple of other things other cameras don't have. Let me see if I can find it. I'll type it into my notes. Oh, what else do you have? Oh, here we go. So built-in 47 gigabytes of storage. Okay. None of the other action cameras have built-in storage. That's number one. Number two, quick record. When you hit that record button, it starts recording in 0.03 seconds. 0.3 seconds. All the other ones take 2 seconds to start recording. This one, you hit it, boink, it's recording. That's number two. The other thing is I can connect 2 DJI mics 2 to this camera wirelessly, Bluetooth. Not one. The Action 4 had one. This camera, you can record 2 separate channels of audio with your DJI Mic 2 connected via Bluetooth. That's the other thing. And not only can you record 2 separate channels of the DJI Mic 2, you can also record a track of the camera mic. Now, I haven't done that yet, and I don't know if it blends that in with the other 2 channels or it has a separate track. I don't know. But you can actually use the 2 DJI mics plus recording on the camera, all 3 sources. I'm not quite sure if they have 3 separate tracks, though. If they don't have 3 separate tracks, there's no sense in having that 3rd microphone. The Action 5 is a very compelling upgrade for anyone. I have the Mark III version, which I thought was excellent until this new version came out. I have the Action 4, and it's really, really good. The Action 4 is excellent. But as a matter of fact, I've had the Action 4 for less than a year. But when I see this camera on such a good sale with 2 batteries and $15 gift card, I say, okay, I'll buy this for $300 and some and I'll sell my Action 4 for $200. So this upgrade will cost me about $100. Plus it has 10-bit D-Log M, which the Insta is still recording in 8-bit. They came up with the log recording, but it's still 8-bit. I'm not buying a camera that doesn't shoot 10-bit in 2025 and 2024. It's not going to do it. I don't care what their excuse is. They had this upgrade, and it wasn't much of an upgrade. It was like a fiasco upgrade that they had. I was looking at it before I got the Action 5, but the Action 5 is the clear winner of the action cameras right now. Now, who knows what's going to happen beyond, the next one. So I am expecting an updated version of the DJI Mic 2. Now, I don't like those small little button microphones like the Hollyland, and Rode has one, and DJI has the little mini microphones. And the reason I don't like them is because I'm on a backup audio recording. None of them do any kind of a backup audio recording. So if whatever you transmit to your phone, if there's interference, you're recording the interference. Okay? I want a backup audio recording. Period. I'm not interested in any wireless system that doesn't have a backup audio recording. It's just not for me. If they come up with these small little microphones and one of them has memory so you can record audio on it, then I might be interested. But I don't know what they're going to do with the DJI Mic 3 whenever it comes out. Because the Rode Wireless Go just got updated, but they dropped time code and they added colors. Okay, they dropped a professional feature like time code and they added colors. Seems like a step backwards, but it's fine. That's so funny. As soon as I found out the Insta action camera was 8-bit, I totally lost interest. Me too. So before I bought the Action 5, I waited for this update for this second version of the Insta360, and it's still 8-bit. They added log. They didn't have log in the original. They added log, but it's only 8-bit log. Sorry. I'm just not interested. There's too many cameras that have 10-bit. Why would I go back to 8-bit? It's like having an HD camera and going back to standard def. Not interested. In case anybody's wondering what this guy is back here, my father made this when I was a kid. In the 1960s, my father made this by hand. Now, he had a template or a picture or something, or some kind of a template, and he had a table jigsaw. He cut it all out because I remember it. I might have helped him paint it. I don't remember. But he painted it. This was a piece of plywood that he had from when I was a kid in the workshop. I used to love going down to the workshop where he had a wood shop in the house. We lived in Silver Spring, and he had a wood shop. And he had Santa Claus, he had reindeer, he had a nativity scene, and 3 choir boys. So I always bring this out at Christmas time because it reminds me of my dad. Fantastic. So there we go. Everybody, what kind of, I got my own Christmas presents. Anybody else, what kind of Christmas presents are you getting? Anything on your wish list? I mean, I'll be curious how fast they update Final Cut Pro to 11.1. We might have to wait till next Creative Summit because, well, we'll see. Let me see. 11. Well, 6 months we waited for Logic Pro. Logic Pro went from Logic Pro 11 to Logic Pro 11.1 in about 6 months. 6 months it was. So maybe sometime around NAB, we might see an update to Final Cut Pro to 11.1. But in the meantime, we might see 11.0.1 or 11.0.2 bug fix. They can always sneak in a feature. But we are expecting that. Yes, it is a wonderful piece of art. A nice way to remember your father and celebrate Christmas. So my father hasn't been around. He passed away in the 80s, way too young. But I was there when we made this. He made it, and I helped him as a young little kid in single digits. I helped him. I was always fascinated with woodworking. So, yeah, this is his hands-on. This used to be in our front yard when we lived in Silver Spring. Every Christmas he'd put it up, and I've got it. I'm not sure how I acquired it, but I did. Yeah, it's really nice. It's very, very special to me. Yeah, he was quite the craftsman with woodworking and stuff. He also did calligraphy. I got the Samsung 5K monitor as an early Christmas present, and I could get it half the price of the studio display, and reviews had a comparable picture quality to the Apple monitor. Love it. Yeah, so Apple is really expensive on 2 things. Their displays and their storage in their Macs. I mean, the storage is just incredibly expensive. I got 2 terabytes on my Mac Mini, and that's more than enough. I'm still hovering at 500. Let me see. I'm still hovering at 500 gigabytes, less than 500. I have 1.52 terabytes available, and I've had it for about a month now. And I think I've got everything. So when I downloaded Logic, I updated Logic Pro. They give you the ability to store samples and stuff in a different location than than your home folder. So, and as a matter of fact, if you've already downloaded to your home folder, you can move it to an external device. So I moved 100 gigabytes of stuff from Logic Pro to my OWC Thunderbolt 5 drive, which is 4 terabytes. So that dropped my home folder, my home storage, back down to less than, just below 500 gigabytes. And I'm pretty well caught up. I have to, once I get all my rest, a couple more things I have to do, I have to load in. Then I'm going to make a carbon copy clone of this drive So I have a pristine copy with all of my applications and everything ready to go. If something happens, I have a pristine copy that I'll be able to redo to another hard drive if I had to. So that is a Christmas light. We have Christmas lights in our back window. To show the neighbors, because the neighbors have Christmas lights that we see from our backyard. You can see the houses in the backyard. But anyway, I'm going to thank you very much. Thank you very much. Don't forget to do subscribe over there, YouTube. And here's my YouTube channel. YouTube.com/Richard Taylor. Richard Taylor. That is the place you want to go. Now, you know what? That's actually, I think I'm supposed to put the @ symbol now. Don't they do that? I think they do. Yeah, YouTube.com/Richard Taylor. Let me see something here. Why is that? Oops, that's not it. Let me turn this off. Here we go. Huh. Oh, because, wait a minute. There we go. Put that all in one line. All on one line. Lock it. Lock it. There you go. So that's the YouTube channel. And I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. We should be back next week. I'm planning on it as long as nothing unusual happens. As long as we have electricity and stuff. And I want to wish everybody absolutely the merriest of Christmas, best 2025 ever. And we'll see if we get 11.0.1 on Monday or Tuesday. I'll come back on and just do a quick go over of the different things that they put in there, the bug fixes and stuff. But if we don't get it Monday or Tuesday, then we'll have to probably wait till after the first of the year. But anyway, accolades to the ProApps team, Logic Pro team, who did get us a Christmas update to Logic Pro. Last Monday, we got 11.1.1 from the ProApps team, the Logic Pro team. Accolades to all the Logic Pro people. I don't know if they watch this or not, but probably some of them do. All of the Final Cut Pro team were fantastic at the Creative Summit. I talked to a lot of them, and that's the best thing about going to the Creative Summit is talking to all your friends and stuff, and talking to the team is really, really good. We never seem to have enough storage, so I get more storage for Christmas. Absolutely. It's just that the going from 2 terabytes to 4 terabytes on my Mac Mini, Apple wanted $600 to go from 2 terabytes to 4 terabytes. $600 to go from 2 to 4. I froze it at 2 and spent $500 on 4 terabytes of Thunderbolt 5 SSD. So I got 2 more terabytes for the same price from OWC. I got their Thunderbolt 5, and it is fast. It is blazingly, blazingly fast. Any other comments before we go? Going to check outside once more. It looks like normal. let me see something here. Do I have, let me see. Oh, so here's Christmas in Baltimore. I'm going to put up a video on my YouTube channel. This is Christmas Street in Hamden, Baltimore. This is the one block on 34th Street. They call it Miracle on 34th Street. This is a little video I shot this week. Look at that. A lot of lights. Both sides of the street. Both sides of the street. What else do we have there? Real quick. Oh, this is downtown where I live, Sykesville. This is the train car. They actually have model trains set up inside a real train car. So this is a real train car, and inside that, they have model trains going. So both of those were shot with my iPhone 16 Pro Max, which does a fantastic job. I use my iPhone 16 Pro Max more than any other camera because it's always with me. It's very easy to use. It's lightweight. I can shoot two cameras at the same time. The downside is low light performance sometimes suffers. But compared to the Lumix, which I know that, so that's not a problem. But yeah, I shoot most of the time with my iPhone 16 Pro Max. And then the Action 5 is really such a small, lightweight camera. So I shoot here, let me show you what I do. I have this set up for my Insta360 gimbal. I have a separate handle, like an L handle here, and it's quick release. I just do this and it comes off. Or in this case, I'm going to do this and it comes off. And then I'm going to connect my Action 5 to this. It just snaps right on there. So I shoot, this is how I shoot with the Action 5 typically if I'm hand holding it. This little L handle, quick release plate that I lock on so it doesn't drop off. I can angle it if I want to, but I like this better than hand holding like this. So this is what I typically do with the Action 5 when I'm hand holding. This is a nice little setup that I've developed over the years. Ulanzi quick release. I have about a dozen of these that I use for all kinds of stuff. It holds my Lumix too. It's plenty strong enough to hold my Lumix as well. And then I have it snaps onto a little tripod if I want to put it on a desk or whatever, or a monopod or a bigger tripod. So that's my setup. All right, everyone. I want to give everybody who watches, absolutely, thank you for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Actually, let me turn that off. And don't forget, Christmas, New Year's, I want you to have the best of anything for the year, New Year, whatever you guys and gals do. Thank you for watching. It's appreciated. If we have 11.0.1, if it comes out on Monday, we'll come back. I've got a little bit of a cold, as you might have seen. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to you, Sean. Thank you for showing up at all these fun times we have here from around the worldwide, our little sessions. We'll have one next Saturday. Happy holidays. Celebrate as many as you want. Absolutely. Everybody, Final Cut Pro Team, Logic Pro Team, everybody at Apple, they do watch this. Please. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to everybody. Unless there's an update on Monday or Tuesday, I won't see you. Next week is our friend Brett Williams. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Thank you, Mr. Brett from Brett FX. He's been to the last 2 Creative Summits, and we've talked there. Everybody, thank you. If I don't see you, if there's not an update Monday or Tuesday, I probably won't be on unless something else happens. I will be putting up 2 or 3 Christmas movies from filming that I've done over the last couple of weeks. And that'll be out in the next couple of days on my YouTube channel. So we'll do The Miracle on 34th Street in Hamden, Baltimore, and we'll do the Sykesville Main Street Christmas celebration. And then I did one for the Humane Society of Carroll County. They have a dinner every year for the animals to help raise funds for all the local animals and stuff. It's called Tales of Twilight. I'll put that up as well. And that's it. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I'll talk to each and every one of you. If not Monday or Tuesday, we'll talk to you next week. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays to each and every one of you. Thanks. Peace.